the things that make you feel like you ain't enough, the people that drag you down instead of up. I can't do it. Every time she gets me with that up. If you haven't heard that jam, go look through my music videos. Sorry, I was just laughing at the fact that I have music videos. It's not me singing, it's other people doing dance. It's dancing. It's me dancing to people singing, but I still have music videos. It's a good day to stop giving a fuck about all the things that keep tripping you up, the things that make you feel like you ain't enough, the people that drag you down instead of up. There's no point stressing too much, 'cause life's too short. Life's too short to care what everyone's thinking of you. It's a good day to stop giving a fuck. I have to hide the incense from TikTok. Sorry guys, hold on. I'm doing nefarious things over here to get restrictions. TikTok's gonna give me restrictions for lighting candles and incense. But guess what? It's a good day to stop giving a fuck about all the things that keep tripping you up, the things that make you feel like you ain't enough, the people that drag you down instead of up. There's no point stressing too much. Life's too short, something, 'cause life's too short to care what everyone's thinking of you. It's a good day to stop giving a fuck. Okay, you guys want to do some tiny yoga? I'll quit singing. Let's do some tiny yoga. You got a chair? You got a place to put your butt? You don't even need a chair. It can be a park bench. It can be this edge of your bed. Ooh, a pumpkin. Badass blind woman, I missed it. When I have the comments all big so I can see from the chair, I don't get to see the cool gifts you guys send. Like, I don't see the hearts. I don't see any of that stuff, except for occasionally I'll see them sort of through the comments. So if I don't say thank you, that's why. I just can't see it through the comments. But some of them are really cool, and I want to see them. Thank you. I saw that one. All right, I'm going to make the comments big again so I can go way over there. Guys, it is already too hot. I am wearing like an actually thick sweater, and I'm going to try to make it through this flow with the sweater on, just to kind of warm my body up, because it was a cold, cold night. It was a cold, cold night, and we don't have any propane. And I accidentally dragged the blankets through dog water, and so all of our blankets were like wet last night. So we had like no blankets. I wore multiple layers. It was a wee bit cold. I want my music video dimmed. I want my DMTV. Thanks, Derek. Good morning, Booty Toots. I am in all kinds of shenanigan mode. Why? Why? Because I woke up in an avocado onesie, for one, and for two. There was another reason, but oh well. Ooh, I love shenanigans. That's why I'm here. Okay, for those of you who are concerned, just so you know, you will see Fluffle. It's a mercy death, I guess, of the bear. Okay, so we are going to start with our Mandala Mudra, and then we're going to move into our 30-minute gentle flow. I'm really excited about this flow. This flow is a little bit more challenging today. I wanted to get into our grounding, our stability. The mudra for the week, the Mandala Mudra, is all about recognizing, one, the unity of all things, right? The Mandala Mudra helps us recognize our original nature and the interconnectedness of everything. The Mandala Mudra also cultivates enlightened thinking, and helps us, let's see, What are the pieces of it? That's right. Awakens spiritual devotion. Enlightened attitude improves concentration. Evokes insight into the transitory nature of all things. So the transitory nature of all things is what I want to kind of experiment with here in class today. Because in the mudra, here, let me show you the mudra first. Here is the mudra. I should be in my chair, but I'm not. So that's where we're at. Okay. Then be quick about it.
Could I be not screens? Could I maybe try your vegan soup?
What? My noodle soup?
Yeah.
It's not vegan, it's just mushroom flavored. You'll like it. Yeah, you can have it.
Nice.
Yeah. Will you please crack an egg in there? Or you want to have them separately? Do you remember how to make it?
Actually, you can have it because I know.
I can get more, honey. I don't want to negotiate this right now. I want you to go have breakfast.
Okay, I'm gonna go get.
Okay. Can you please close the sliding door? To like semi-reduce the noise. Okay, love you. Okay, back. Okay, starting over. Anyway, hello, good morning. For those of you who are new here, hello, my name is Reverend Deborah. I'm an interfaith minister, a movement facilitator, and your shenanigans shaman, and that's my kiddo. And that's my dog. And this is our tiny yoga class. Tiny yoga is a 30-minute gentle flow, a chair yoga flow for everybody in every space, and was born out of my own reluctance to do yoga because of both physical limitations as well as spatial limitations. And then I found chair yoga, and then I was like, oh, I still have to do my yoga. I can still do my yoga. So this class, this flow is much more about exploring our internal cosmos rather than, doing a whole big strength training thing or getting yourself to sweat, hot yoga, flow, vinyasa, things. That's not quite what we're doing here. What I want you to do in this space is to pay attention, to be present, present, yes. Yeah, that's the right word. Why are you confused? I don't know. To be present with whatever comes up within you. Remember that one of the most powerful things that we can do is meet ourselves with curiosity and willingness. And in this space, especially today, as we take a little bit more grounding poses, root chakra poses, manifestation of earth poses, and learn to go through how we meet challenges in our life. That's what we're working with today. I'm really excited about this flow, and yeah, we're gonna get into it. Okay, so here is the mudra. The mudra, we're going to sit with it for 5 minutes to get us into the right headspace, the right energy space. When we sit with this mudra, I encourage you to, again, find the mudra that is available to you. If you can't get it perfectly, that's okay. Just invite more of the mudra each time you sit with it. Sedentary Stones, hey, you've been using a mudra you posted for head, neck, jaw tension. It helps so much. Thank you. You're very welcome. I like that one a ton too. That one for everything up here tense. That one's the Sanskrit name for it. I don't know off the top of my head right now. Okay, so the Mandala Mudra goes like so. Go ahead and bring both palms. There's a couple ways to get into it, so feel free to get kind of creative with how you get into it. This is how I like to get into it. Both palms open, facing up. Lift those pinkies and cross them over. Bring the thumbs to touch the tips of the pinkies. And then roll your ring fingers back to back. As you roll the ring fingers back to back, while still holding the pinkies, you'll notice that your middle fingers start to cross. You want that. Use the index fingers to curl around the tips of the middle. So you should have this mandala. Here, there, mandala. what we have here in the center is the earth element, right? This represents the fabric of creation, the original nature of all things in creation, the web of the universe of creation, and the manifestation of earth or the material within it. So when we sit with this mudra, we hold it in front of, I have to adjust a little bit here, we hold it in front of our solar plexus, but out just a little bit so that when you're sitting with it, you can gaze gently, softly into it. So just keeping your eyelids open just enough to look down at these extended fingers, looking into that manifestation of creation, looking into the earth as it manifests into our reality, into the universe, right? Creation, expanding. And there's the two pieces of creation, the masculine and the feminine, the solar, lunar, yin and yang, right? I really like this mudra a lot. So we're going to start our session with sitting with this mudra for 5 minutes to get us into that contemplative state and to, I think, really cultivate our presence so that we can be present with the movements, flows that we're going to do today. So I'm going to get off my toes here. I'm going to try not to let go of my mudra. Here's my challenge today. I'm going to try to get up without touching the ground. I can't flip my timer with my hand in the mudra, can I? I don't think I can. All right, so if you would like to join us for 5 minutes with this mudra, come and find yourself a comfortable place to sit. You can be doing other things. You don't have to be fully focused on this mudra, but the more intention you give it, the more it will resonate within you. So we sit for 5 minutes because it takes about 5 minutes for energy to circulate through the system, and we're going to let this mudra do its work, put us into the right energy space, and then we're going to move into our flow. Okay, one more time. I'm going to give you guys the mudra one more time in case anybody is coming in that didn't get it. This is the Mandala Mudra. Cross the pinkies over. Bring the thumbs to touch the crossed pinkies. Roll the ring fingers back to back and let those middle fingers cross. Then use the index fingers to just hook the tips of those middles. So it should look like this. You'll have your pinkies crossed and middle fingers crossed, thumbs holding the pinkies, index fingers holding the middles, ring fingers extended, the manifestation of creation within the universe. So go ahead and bring this to your solar plexus region. That's your belly. That's above your belly button, below your sternum. And then push it out ever so slightly so you can have this nice long spine, good posture, and still gaze down into this mudra. I got to put it out a little bit further away. Okay, so we're going to sit for 5 minutes, and then we're going to move into our flow. Perfect timing. 5 minutes starts now. And let's go ahead and take 3 deep breaths to sink into this space. Inhale, pulling the breath through the lungs and into the belly. And sigh it out. You can have your eyes closed, or you can be staring into, gazing into the mudra, the extension here of earth, the earth element, the ring fingers in this mudra. Inhale again to expand the rib cage in all directions, front, sides, and back. And let it go. Inhale once more, lifting from the heart and lifting through the top of the head to elongate the spine. Exhale, melting the shoulder blades down the back, tucking the chin ever so slightly to bring in tension to your posture, and releasing tension anywhere else in your system. We are seated upright with intention, no tension. Gazing into the earth element, that's those extended ring fingers in your mudra as you hold it out in front of your solar plexus. And just rest your awareness on whatever anchor works for you. You can rest your awareness on the mudra itself. You can rest your awareness on your breath, the sound of your inhale and your exhale. If your mind is particularly busy and you want to use a mantra, feel free. This one is a good Om mantra. The Om mantra is a good one for this one because it is the entirety of the universe, the unity of the universe, the unity of all of creation. When we sit with our mudra, we cultivate our intention, releasing any tension we find in the system and bringing our attention back to the present moment, back to the intention, releasing tension, cultivating intention. And bringing our attention back home as many times as it takes. Slow, steady breaths. Let yourself sink into the mudra, into the space. Noticing how the tension in your breath, body, and being just melt away as we cultivate our intention and our attention in the present moment. Any thoughts of past, any thoughts of future, let them pass by like the clouds in the sky. Keep breathing. Keep bringing your attention back to the present moment anytime you notice it wanders off. Stay with the breath, stay with the practice. Take a deep breath in, hold the top. Exhale, releasing your mudra. And just pause for a moment just to notice the quality of your system. Notice your breath. Notice your shoulders, your neck, your jaw, your back, your legs. Bringing your attention down into your feet. Begin grounding by gently pressing into the earth with the left big toe. Gently press and release. Press and release. Press and release. Press and release the right big toe into the earth, intentionally grounding in hello, earth. If your big toe could hug the earth, go ahead and give the earth a hug with your big toe. Press and release. All the toes on your left foot, press and release. All the toes on your right foot, press and release. Lift the toes from both feet, lift them off the earth. Stretch them up, reaching towards the sky, those tiny toes reaching up towards the sky, and then press them into the earth. Go ahead and press your left heel into the earth, your right heel into the earth. Release. Press both heels into the earth with intention and release. Roll both feet to the outside of the foot, dropping your knees open just a little bit. Rolling to the ball of your foot, pressing the toes and the ball into the earth again. Rolling into the inside over the bridge of your foot. Around the heel, and now pressing both feet, the entirety of both feet, intentionally into the earth, and release. Press and release. Press and release. Grounded. Before we open our eyes, I'd like you to take those 3 deep breaths again to find our posture. Inhale, pulling the breath through the lungs and into the belly. And sigh it out. Inhale again, expanding the ribcage in all directions, front, sides, and back. And exhale. Inhale again, lifting the heart and lifting through the top of the head to elongate the spine. Exhale, melting the shoulder blades down the back. Wiggle your elbows to get them all nice and loosey-goosey. Give your hips a little wiggle, give your knees a little wiggle, just a little tiny wiggle, and then we will move back up to the neck and we will warm up our muscles, say hello to our muscles. Hey, can you guys hear me okay? The computer over here is making a lot of fan noise and I want to make sure everybody can hear me okay. Can I just have some thumbs up? Yeah, you guys can hear me okay? Cool, cool, cool. Yay, yay. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you. Hey, Brian, good morning. Happy Friday. Yay, Derek. Okay, great. Thank you, YouTube and Instagram. How's it doing over there? Okay, sweet. All right, so let's move into our neck. I'm going to let you kind of feel into your neck this morning. Take a few minutes. Follow the breath. So if you're inhaling the chin up, exhaling the chin down. If you're gazing over your shoulders, inhaling at center, exhaling as you gaze over. Inhaling back to center, exhaling as you gaze over. If you're tipping your ear to your shoulder, same thing. Inhale, exhale as you drop the ear to the shoulder. Inhale back up, exhale back down. Same with rotation. Find yourself a rotation if that's what you want. Inhaling the head back up and around, exhaling it back down. So go ahead and spend just a few minutes matching the motion of your neck with your breath in whatever way feels appropriate for you this morning. You are your own guru. We are each unique in our structure, in our body, in our experience of the material. When we try the one-size-fits-all style, we end up ignoring the uniqueness of our systems and the uniqueness of what we need each day. So I encourage you to use this space to truly just be present and drop any expectation of what you're supposed to look like, of what it's supposed to feel like. I invite you again to meet everything with curiosity and willingness, without the need to push, without the need for force, without the need for overextension, but instead intention. Replacing tension with intention and attention. Releasing overextension and tension throughout the entire system. We cultivate intention. All right. Come back to neutral. Hopefully your neck feels nice and welcomed into this space. Bring your arms out and your fingertips to touch your shoulders. Bringing intention to the elbows, the extension of the elbows, so that your arms are parallel to the ground. We're going to focus on the shoulder rotation, not the elbows. I don't want you trying to paddle with your elbows, right? We're not doing this. We're moving into the shoulders. So lift them, and we're bringing our fingers here to be aware. Bring our attention, our focus here into the shoulders. Move them up, inhaling. Exhaling, back and down. As you do this, keep that nice long extension. If you need to, pause, lift the heart, lift through the top of the head to bring that posture back to good alignment. Now, going back into your shoulders, lifting, inhaling as you lift, exhale as you round them back and down. Trying to keep your elbows straight. Look, I just went out of whack. My elbows were going all over the place. Keep your elbows in line with your shoulders, just moving in the shoulder joints. One direction and then the other. Whew. It's not easy to do. That's why we bring our attention. Shoulders, shoulders, shoulders. Go ahead and release the arms once you've got a little bit of a rotation in both sides. Lift the shoulders up to the ears, squeezing them around the neck. Still nice long spine. Don't cower your neck. And drop with a 3 more times. Inhale, squeeze them up to the ears. One more. Bring your arms up. Elbows bent at a 90-degree angle, arms parallel to the ground. Hands open, fingers spread, palms facing forward for cactus arms. We're going to flow just into the chest, opening and closing the chest with our cactus arms. So inhale to lift the chest, lift the chin, slight back bend, pulling the elbows back just a little bit to open here. Exhale, a gentle curve in the upper spine, bringing the elbows together and the hands to touch, tucking the chin ever so slightly. Inhale, open, gentle back bend. Exhale, close. 3 more. Last one. Go ahead and release the arms down to the thighs. Give them a little bit of a shake if you need to. That was a lot of movement in our arms and in our shoulders. Rest the palms on the thighs, and we're going to move into a cat-cow flow. I encourage you to start small. We just started up here with the upper torso. So in this cat-cow, go ahead and just move a little bit, moving the belly out, tipping the tailbone up a little bit, sending the chest forward, lifting the chin, pulling with intention, not tension. Ever so slightly pulling on the thighs here to give a little bit more toward the front. Inhale and then exhale. Tuck the tailbone, curve the spine, roll the shoulders, tuck the chin, gently push on the thighs. Exhale. Couple more. Inhale, forward. Each time getting a little bit bigger with your motion. Exhale, back. We're seeking movement of the entire length of the spine. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Getting bigger, deeper into this movement. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. From here, stay here. And then begin torso circles. So move slowly to one direction. Now turning the entire length of the spine in a circle in one direction. Trying to get that whole spine, neck, hips, shoulders, rib cage, all moving in a circle in one direction, stirring up your entire torso. Once you get to that back again, into the back, then switch directions. Big opening circles, moving your hips, even lifting your hips if you can, lifting the butt cheeks off the chair. Rotation, big, big, big movements until you get back to the back one more time. Inhale, sending the chest forward, lifting the chin one last time. Exhale to come back to neutral. Align your feet again, planting your feet back to the ground, bringing the ankles below the knees, knees about shoulder width apart. realign ourselves. Bring the palms together overhead, sweeping the arms big up overhead, gazing at your hands. Inhale. Exhale, drop your left arm either to the chair, to the bed, or you could cross it over your body to support on the other thigh. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, side bend, dropping that, reaching over with the right hand, opening the right side body, stretching into all the way down into the hips. Gaze up to the ceiling, past your armpit. Try not to offend yourself. Inhale, back up. Exhale, release the right side. Both arms up again, and we're going to do the left. Sweeping them up overhead, hands together. Inhale. Exhale, drop that right arm either to the chair, bed, or across the body. And open up the left side body, reaching to the right. Gaze up towards the ceiling. Try not to offend. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, back up. Exhale, back down. Give yourself a wiggle if you need it. And we're moving on. Interlace those fingers at your heart. Press the palms up towards the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, turn just the torso to the left. Once you reach the full twist, as far as you can go, open the arms, bringing your right hand to the outside of that front left knee. Dropping the left hand behind you on the chair or the bed. Take a deep breath here. Elongate the spine. Bring intention to your spine. Don't curl your spine up. Nice long spine here. Inhale, exhale to gaze over the back shoulder. Take 3 deep breaths here in this twist. Nice long spine. Trying not to collapse in the twist. Keeping the shoulders open and relaxed. One more deep breath here. Inhale. Exhale to release. Slowly release. Let's not slingshot ourselves back towards the front. Interlace the fingers together again. Press them up towards the sky, and we're going to twist to the right. Inhale. Exhale. Twist to the point where your torso stops. And then exhale, opening the arms, that left arm to the outside of the right knee, that right arm behind you. Inhale, extend the spine. Exhale, gaze over the shoulder. Keeping a nice long spine, take 3 deep breaths here. Keeping those shoulders relaxed. Last breath. Exhale completely. Inhale again. Exhale to slowly come back out. Heel toe. Sorry, dog. It's going to get a little crazy here. Heel toe, your feet open for goddess pose. So you're going to keep those heel toe, the feet open. Keep your knees bent at a 90-degree angle. Find a nice space. You might need to bring your feet in a little bit because we're going to lift off our chair and we're going to hold for a count of 5. We're going to do it a couple of times, so stay with me. Here's how we're going to go. We're going to bring our arms up into cactus. We're going to lift off and hold for 5. Come back down, do a couple of twists. Lift up, hold for 5. Come back down, do a couple more twists. You ready? Okay, let's do it. Ground into your feet. Find the edge of your seat. Cactus arms. Forearm or upper arm parallel to the ground. Elbows in a 90-degree angle. Spread those fingers nice and wide. Inhale to lift for a count of 5. Keeping your hips down deep in this goddess pose. 3, 4, 5. Go ahead and release. Releasing the arms. Resting your left elbow on your left knee. Inhale, sweeping your right arm up. Twisting towards the ceiling, leaning back a little bit into the twist, big open chest. Inhale and exhale, back down. Other side, right arm to the right elbow to the right knee. Inhale, sweeping the left arm up for a nice twist. Lean back into the twist. Holy sunshine in my eyes. Inhale, exhale, back to neutral. Roll it out, shake it out if you need to, and we're going back to goddess. Find your grounding again. You ready? Cactus arms, palms forward, fingers wide. Inhale, up for a count of 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back down to your seat. From here, we're just going to twist the upper body again. So inhale, exhale, just using your hands to twist a little deeper, turning the torso, gazing over your back shoulder. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, twisting towards the right. Just the torso. Keep those knees nice and open. Feet grounded. Gaze over that back shoulder. Inhale. Exhale, back to neutral. We're going to hold goddess one more time. You ready? Bring those arms back up to cactus. Ground down again. Find your strong base. Inhale. Exhale. And lift for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to your seat. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale to fold down into goddess. If you have a block or you have something else that can help you in your forward fold, that's great. Use it if you've got it. If you can't go that far and you don't have those things, feel free to just use your elbows and bend forward here. The intention is just to get a length in the spine and into the low back. So inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold if it's available to you. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale. Inhale, drag the left hand across the arm, over the chest, and up, opening into another big twist. Leaning back into your twist, big deep breath. Inhale, exhale, back down. Right side. Inhale, slowly dragging the right arm up across the left arm, over the chest, reaching up towards the sky, and lean back into your twist. Inhale, exhale, back down to neutral. Slowly roll up. What time are we at here? Sweet. Okay. Shake it out. So it's this piece here that we're going to challenge ourselves a little bit. And we're going to use this piece to embody the process of meeting tension, of meeting our challenges. So we're going to move into gate pose to represent the tension that sometimes comes to us, the surprise, right? The challenge that shows up to us. And then we will go into side angle to set our intention to show up for it. Then we'll move into warrior 1 to back up that intention with action, showing up for it. Then we will move into humble warrior to embody the surrender of being present with whatever tension arises. Are you ready? We're going to go for the right side first. So drop that left leg open, extending the left leg out. Turn your toes just a little tiny bit, open a little more. Left arm sliding down that left leg, sweeping your right arm up in front. And getting a nice little back bend toward that left leg. Inhale here. Exhale. Releasing any tension. Inhale again. Exhale. Dropping the front elbow. That's the right elbow to the right knee. Tiptoe your right foot open just a little bit more. Doggo. I got dog butt in the way. Dropping that. No, sir. No. Right arm down that right leg. Sweep the left arm overhead for extended side angle. Reach from the tips of your toes to the tips of your fingers, stretching that full left side. Gaze up towards the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, setting our intention to show up. Inhale as you roll. Again, twist, heel toe, that front foot open just a little bit more so we can align ourselves for warrior one. You're going to want to bring that back leg out just a little bit more. And you have the option here of staying on the edge of your chair, or you can lift off the edge of your chair for warrior one. Inhale, lifting the arms, either staying on the edge of your seat or lifting off your seat, holding here for warrior one. Big deep breath. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, sweep the arms behind you, interlace your fingers, reach them back down towards the earth, and exhale as you drop the chest inside of the knee, again on your chair or off the chair for humble warrior. Big deep breath here, strong in your base. Exhale. Inhale, slowly pulling back up. And release. Heel toe, those feet back into goddess pose. Pause for a second. Tension. Set intention. Show up with action. Surrender to whatever arises. Other side. Ready? All right. From goddess pose, extend that right leg now open. I've got a bunch of stuff over here, so I got to move a little bit to do that. Yeah. Excuse me again. Okay. Extend your right leg now, again, without really moving your left here. Slide the right arm down that back leg, inhaling to sweep the right arm up in front of you as you exhale into a back bend for gate pose. Inhale. Exhale, the way tension surprises us, comes unexpected at us sideways. Inhale, exhale, releasing the left elbow to the left knee. Heel toe your leg or your foot open just a little bit. Inhale that right arm up overhead, extending the full side angle of the right side body. Inhale, gaze up towards the ceiling as you exhale, setting your intention to show up. Inhale. This time again, you're going to heel toe that front foot open just a little bit more. Bring your back leg out a little bit to create a nice strong base, and either you're going to stay with one cheek on your chair or you're going to lift off for warrior one. Inhale, up. Lifting the arms, warrior one. Nice strong base, sink into it, breathe. Inhale, sweeping the arms behind you, interlacing those fingers. Pull them down towards the earth, lengthening the spine, lifting through the top of the head. Inhale, exhale, down, dropping the chest inside the knee for humble warrior. Breathe here, surrendering to whatever arises. One more breath, inhale. Exhale, slowly rolling back up. That wasn't really slow. I was ready to get out of there. Go ahead and release, heel toe, the knees all the way back together. Find the edge of your seat again. We're going to bring them all the way together, and we're just going to gently windshield wiper the knees. Dropping the knees back and forth, rolling into the feet. Letting the hips move ever so slightly with the movement back and forth. Back and forth. Come back to neutral, heel toe those feet open to shoulder width apart. Ankles directly underneath the knees.
Just pause for a moment. Before we close our practice, our flow for today, and move into our Kriya, I would like to take just a few more moments to be with whatever sensations were generated by the practice. So often we act like human doings and just do, without the moments in between to be. Those moments in between are imperative because that's where our systems realign themselves. That's where our systems integrate whatever it was that we were just doing. So I invite you to spend several breaths here. You can have your eyes closed, you can have them open, whatever works for you, but I invite you to just stay here with the intention to experience whatever was generated by this practice. I invite you to meet whatever comes up within your system with curiosity. Offer your willingness here in the moment to just be with yourself, with the sensations, with your thoughts, with your breath, with whatever comes up, without the need to change it, do anything about it. Sometimes we just need to be seen. As you pause in this moment, again, releasing any tension within tension. If you notice it in your shoulders or in your neck, go ahead and give those minor adjustments, elongating the spine. Using big, deep breaths. We're not pushing away tension. We're not trying to change anything. We are just acknowledging what exists and then letting it know that it can go whenever it's ready. Notice any tension remaining in your system. Notice any spots that feel like they still need some of your attention. And set the intention to give them your attention. And then follow through with action. Whether it be now, whether it be a gentle massage to a shoulder, or a little twist for the hips. Ask your system what it needs before we move on and close the practice. And if nothing in particular comes up, and I invite you to bring your palms together. Offer gratitude for the practice. Offer gratitude for the space. Offer gratitude for the prana. Offer gratitude for the simplest of things, for the opportunity to cultivate our attention, for the opportunity to release tension, for the opportunity to meet whatever comes up in my system with curiosity and willingness, for the opportunity to experience these movements, to experience my own muscles, my own breath, my own being. Offer yourself gratitude for taking the time for self-care today. It's a really important piece. Today is all you have, my friend. Thank you for joining me for our tiny yoga flow. Take one last deep breath. Exhale to release the practice. You can stay here if you'd like to. You can return to any part of the practice that you would like to return to. If you are here doing the 40-day meat suit challenge, we are going to do our Kriya here in just a couple minutes. We are on day 34 of the Kriya. I invite you to grab some water, a sip of coffee, to rearrange, stretch like doggo if you need it, and then we will move into our Kriya. What's a Kriya? For those of you who are new here, hello. My name's Reverend Deborah. I'm an interfaith minister, a movement facilitator, and your shenanigan shaman. And we just finished our tiny yoga flow. The replay is on YouTube, FYI. And I have a playlist that you can grab by archives or by membership too. But there's lots of replays on there anyway that are accessible. So follow me on YouTube. I move the change. I move the change on YouTube in case I didn't say that, because I didn't say that. So replays are on YouTube. If you are just joining us and don't know what a Kriya is a specific set of actions that we do for a specific outcome. And this Kriya is our Kriya for addiction. And by addiction, we mean anything that we choose that perpetually pulls us off balance. So this Kriya is a really exciting one because I find it really powerful. I find it really effective in what it does. And what? I don't know what I was going to say. I'll check in here for a second. Badass Blind Woman, hey, what's up? Welcome. Hey, Dad Squatch, thank you for the subscription. Welcome, my friend. Were you here for our flow? Awesome. You guys remember that replays are on YouTube. And actually, any level of membership with me gets you the access to all of the replays. And at this point, we have like a year of replays over on YouTube. Dad Squatch, moving so much better after that. So this class literally came out of the fact that I was living and traveling in an RV pretty much full time and do intermittently. And I don't wake up with a lot of mobility. I tend to wake up with all sorts of things out of alignment. So this really was me rolling off to the edge of my bed and working on creating more alignment and working on creating more space, getting into my body before I could even go and get onto my mat, right? So that's where this came out of. We do a little bit of, like you saw today, a little bit of some more of like strength building things. Today wasn't a whole lot of it because I really try to keep it gentle. We don't need to always push ourselves, right? Dad Squatch sleeping in a cold tin can will do that. It absolutely will. It absolutely does. I was just saying last night we were really cold. So, for those of you who are interested in the Kriya, we're going to get into it just a second. I'm already sweating with this sweater on, and I got to rearrange for the lights. I'll leave you with tea troll. Oh, doggo. Hot dog, hot diggity dog. We did admittedly move a little bit faster through that flow than I intended to, and that's my own. Actually, I know why that happened, but I'm not going to blame him for it. I'm not going to do that. I was distracted. Goosey, hey Goosey, how do you get anger and rage out of your body? Good question. We understand that the body stores the energy of anger and rage in our liver, gut area, in our digestive area, upper digestion. So anything that addresses the solar plexus is really helpful. Anything that addresses the sacral and the root is also really helpful because those being out of balance, these chakras being out of balance, can lead to anger and rageful reactivity because of lower needs not being met, or basic, I don't mean lower, I mean more basic needs being met, like safety, nourishment, connection, intimacy. And I mean intimacy from like having connections with people, right? Having people you care about who care about you in your life. Not having those things can lead to an overblown expression of anger and rage through the solar plexus. Now, upper chakra stuff can lead to that too, but it's more likely coming from those lower chakras. So first and foremost, what do I always say? The best way to protect your system or to clear your system is to just work on alignment, right? Work on the alignment of your energy body. And then each moment, Sorry, it's going to make me verify something. Each moment, yeah, drag the puzzle. There you go. A lot of times we think of doing self-work, right? Or aligning work or healing work as these like big sweeping gestures that we have to do for the body, or all of these hours and days and years or whatever of work that we have to do in therapy or with different practices, or there's all these medications or whatever. We think of it like this massive thing that we have to address, when really the most powerful thing that we can do is be present in the moment. So don't worry so much about healing the past. The parts of the past that are unhealed are already with you right now. Don't worry so much about changing the future. None of it's happened yet, right? What you do today shapes the future. And in terms of karma, sometimes your karmic signature and the things that we're doing right now, usually our karma is kind of like manifestation stuff, kind of set for about at least a lunar cycle or two, right? So if you want big changes to happen, first of all, stop expecting them to happen tomorrow. And second of all, stop creating, what is the word I'm looking for? A big to-do about it. Instead, recognize that today is all you really have. And now is the most powerful gift you can give to yourself. So when anger, rage, fear, anxiety, sadness, need, whatever these things are, when they rise within you, recognize that they're finite processes of the body. So they match your breath. Inhale, anger. I see you. I feel you. I validate you. You are real. You're allowed to be here. Hello, anger. Wow, you're so powerful. Exhale. With that exhale, you can invite anger to release. With that exhale, you can ask anger what message it has for you. Sir! Sorry, he just got fixed. And I'm letting him out of the cone. With that exhale, you can ask what else, right? What else can I do with this energy? I like to do this because when these emotions rise up, they're reactivity. They're my brain trying to protect my system. They're my body trying to protect my spirit. So when these things rise up, I must acknowledge that they are valid and that they are actually allies of mine. Anger is an ally. Your ego and all of the emotions, these are all allies. Allow them to be your friend. Allow them to inform you. Allow them, show up with some humility to these feelings and thoughts and sensations that run through your body, because they have been your army, protecting you for all of these years, standing by your side, even when you're bitching about them, even how much you hate your anger or your ego or your vulnerability or whatever, all that negative self-talk, those characters, those parts of you, that energy still stands there, still protects you, still shows up for you every single day. Give yourself the grace to drop the narrative that any of this is against you, out to get you, trying to hurt you, or any of that baloney. Put it back in the fridge. Toss it out. Because in actuality, every piece of you is a part of you. Your system is finite. It has a finite amount of energy, and so that finite amount of energy goes to the places that your system believes you need it most. Our job is to be the first mate to our captain, right? I like to talk about the captain, the higher self, as if it's the captain. I am the first mate to my captain because it's my responsibility to relay between the wiser, higher self that knows how to navigate and knows how to get through the challenging times to my crew, who is ultimately just a bunch of pirates. They're just a bunch of fucking pirates. that are doing their best to get through life as best that they know how with whatever tools that they have. And they're trying to protect the treasure. This is your treasure. Anger is there to protect your essence. It was sitting in a meditation that I received the direct imagery, understanding, sensation of Christ living in our hearts, Source, God living in our hearts. Look, as soon as I said that, Instagram crashed. Patterns be patterning, guys. I gotta laugh about it because the more we talk about it, the more they give me restrictions, the more they drop stuff. And this is why I haven't been on Instagram lately, is because they don't share my stuff. It's funny, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because I'm not worried about it. Because the message goes where it needs to go. So, my system, my allies, within me is a particle of Source, right? I am made of Source. That Source prana flows through me, ultimately seeking to enlighten my system. When we change the narrative within us and recognize that all of these pieces are here to support our growth. In fact, we were saying it yesterday. I encourage you to say it with me. In this moment, take it in. Take it in. Look around you. Look at everything around you without judgment, without, oh my God, all those dishes. Oh, what a mess. Oh. Not drop that shit. I want you to look around right now and see how perfect everything is. Everything in your space right now, in your reality, is exactly where it needs to be. Exactly as it needs to be, right when it needs to be that way. Gaze around your space. Take this in with that truth and say it to yourself. It's exactly how it needs to be. It's exactly how it needs to be. It's exactly how it needs to be. Look around, look around. Now, add to it. I see. In this moment, I can see the entire universe supporting my existence. Or better, I can see the entire universe supporting my self-actualization. We can retrain the brain. It takes intention and attention. It's not actually that difficult to do. It's just knowing how to do it in the moment. In the moment is the most powerful moment we have. When we don't address our emotions in the moment, what happens? They get stored and stuck away. When we don't address our fears in the moment, same thing. They integrate and get stored and stuck away until we give them our attention. It's such an interesting thing, such an interesting dynamic for these things to rise within us and essentially need our light, our attention, our focus, our intention. And when we give that to them, almost always we experience at least a degree of relief from the experience, from the physiological symptoms of that experience, of the emotion, right? It is the more we fight, the more we push away, the more we argue with ourselves, the more we try to say, no, I don't want to, no, you can't see my anger, no, you can't see my sadness, no, you can't see my vulnerability. That's a whole, like, love the sinner, not the sin kind of thing. It's like, no, that's not unconditional. That's literally conditional love. Oh yeah, I want somebody to love me. I want somebody to love all of me. But my internal narrative is that many parts of me aren't lovable. So how the heck can I expect somebody else to look beyond my boundary, right? My judgment, of myself and truly love me, even if they do? My brain is going, because it's self-confirming. That's how it works. It's self-confirming for a good reason. So what is it going to do? It's going to say, there's no way they can love that part of you. You don't even love that part of you. You know. Any of you have this similar narrative in your head? The more I get to know somebody, the deeper they get to know me, the more likely they are not to like me. Why? Because that's how I speak to me. The deeper I go in there, the more I've discovered about me, right? It used to be. We're now moving past that narrative because we recognize now that every part of me is an ally. Every part of me is an important piece of me. The most powerful thing we can do is meet each of those pieces in the moment with curiosity and willingness. That in and of itself. Give it a shot. Give it some time. Not even a lot of time. Because this is a big shift. This is a powerful practice. The here and now is a gift of opportunity. The opportunity to meet yourself honestly. The opportunity to cultivate love and trust within your system by surrendering to the fact that things are happening within me. And every single piece that's happening within me is actually okay. It might not be the most mature. It might not be the most cool or slick. It might not be the prettiest. But they're all part of me. Just like a body, right? There are parts of my body where I might like more than others. And there are parts of my body that I might think are gross. And parts of my body I might think are amazing. But all are imperative for my survival, right? My armpits sweat, and if I don't wear deodorant, they fucking stink. So what is that? That's my body releasing toxins. That's my body doing me a favor and helping to get rid of shit that doesn't serve me. That would be really bad if it was in my system. If my body didn't shit and sweat and sneeze and cough and puke and all this stuff, what would happen? It would deteriorate my system. It would destroy my system. Because my system's not supposed to keep these things in. Claire, there's a part of me, a tiny part, that feels, thinks, has been interesting for you. What do you mean? Just the things of, the parts of you, the things that they have to say or share? Or is it more that the concept of having these other parts of me within? Because sometimes the concept of having the other parts is difficult for us to wrap our brains around. Because again, we're enculturated here in the West. And in the West, if you have multiple parts of self, then you've got a diagnosable mental illness, which is not the case, right? I had those diagnoses too. It turns out I was just playing with internal family systems. And it was through internal family systems that enlightened my system enough for me to actually start to build trust and love. When I thought I was just a solo consciousness, whatever, sort of like, that's it. And tried to deny the other thoughts or feelings or things that I was having, right? They're all part of me. But I was trying to push them away and change and compartmentalize rather than integrate. Right? Fill in the blank with something unsavory or too painful to acknowledge. So it's difficult to hold space for the things that are difficult, right? The things that are challenging, the things that are dense. I like to think of it like that because challenging, difficult are judgments, right? So let's talk about just the nature of it. Those unsavory feelings or thoughts are dense. They're usually like, we feel them in our body. They come from triggers in other places in the brain, subconscious places in the brain. They're not fully informed about the present moment. Again, like I said earlier, stop trying to go into the past to heal things because the parts of the past that are unhealed are here with you right now. You don't have to go anywhere. They're right here. And that's those unsavory pieces. What's unsavory about them is my judgment of them, my dislike of them, my belief that I'm not supposed to have parts of me that are unsavory, right? But just like the entire universe, just like the rainbow needs all the colors, right? And all the colors are contained within the light, you need all the parts. And usually what we do when we get older, as we evolve, as we progress, is explore the deeper and deeper subtle layers of those parts so that we can integrate them all. Yeah, Claire, thinking of it as a part of me with something unsafe. Oh, sorry, it glitched. I skipped comments. Thinking of it as a part of me has allowed me to consider the thought without flinching away. I like to think about them like little kids. I like to think about them like immature part, like, like little kid parts of me, because the reality is that trigger of anger or rage, right? Or fear is most often rooted in the earliest experiences that I had. So ultimately that defense mechanism is really just operating from a 5-year-old mentality. Maybe I've updated it a little bit as I grow up, but for the most part, we're talking 5, 6, 4, 3, 2, toddler, right? Just act like a baby. Like a baby. We have these sayings for it. Why? Because we still do. Because these things, the past lives within us. The past exists right here, right now, in your system, in the way that it reacts, not responds. Because responsibility is something that we have to cultivate. Our ability to respond to something in the present moment, not just reacting, not just being reactive, repeating actions from the past, reaction. That's all that is. Doing the same thing over and over again. And what do they say? What do they say about doing the same thing over and over again, my friends? I know y'all know this. I know this. What do they say about it? It's the definition of insanity. Or stupidity, or whatever it is. Okay. Goosey, all the parts that some of us were indoctrinated to not integrate is hard. Anger was never allowed. Right. So what happens, so that's from the solar plexus. The solar plexus develops between the ages of like 2 to 5 or so. And so experiences down here in those early stages, which is usually our terrible twos, right? What if the culture talk about us when we are that age, when we are first expressing our will to interact with the world? My root chakra is, am I safe? Can I exist in a body? Do I have a right to exist in this body? Yes, cool. Move up to the sacral chakra. The sacral is, if I ask for my needs to get met, are they going to get met? And can I get my needs met by interacting with the world? Yes or no? That's going to depend, that's going to develop the energy signature of that chakra. Yes or no is going to develop the energy signature. So now let's move up to our solar plexus. And our solar plexus says, now I can interact with the world. If you want to see source, God, in full swing, in full force, go look at a toddler. Because they are. They are the egocentric center of their universe. I am God! They're tiny little gods. And I love it because it's this energy here. It's their first real experience of being able to be industrious or feeling inferior. And when we feel inferior, a lot of times we lash out. We feel inferior and feel inferior and feel inferior. And then to protect ourselves, we lash out with an exaggerated version of anger, with an exaggerated version of frustration or defensiveness, right? And that's imbalance in the sacral. So what happens when we're really young and, for example, our frustration or anger gets thwarted? I had the same experience. I was always, we were taught to not be too loud, too happy, too sad, too anything, right? No yelling, no screaming, no crying, no laughing too loud, fuck. But, so what happens? What happens here? Your system realizes that expressing that energy in that way, this is where your body is doing you your favor. This is where your pirates are developing and becoming your allies. Why? Your brain is in the theta brainwaves. At this stage of development, you are still in the dream time. Little 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, when they are walking around through their day, those fuckers are still in the dream time. They are in REM sleep. That's the experience. The cognitive experience of life is still the stage of REM sleep. That's the theta brainwaves. I'm not even fully conscious when I am developing. So thank you, my allies. Thank you, my egos. Thank you, my system, for creating these structures, this to protect me, to keep me safe, to allow me to survive in this world. My ego, my emotions, my body is tasked with survival. I, the higher I, as I develop and become conscious, is tasked with thriving, is lifting my body out of survival and into thriving, right? Not just my body, but my body and my spirit and my brain and my mind, right? All these things. I enlighten those. I cannot expect my system itself to reach self-actualization because it's not designed to do that. The self-actualization is the interaction between the material, the survival, and the intangible, the spiritual. Badass blind woman, that part of me always wants to fight because I was always told to be reverent and be quiet. So what do we do? What do we do as children in that stage when I'm unconscious and my body's just doing what it can to protect me? The energy moves. The energy may move down into your sacral. And we may become very clingy, attached, needy, codependent, maybe even start to over-nourish ourselves, over-seeking of pleasure because we don't have proper expression in other places. So we can return to this, right? Or we can lift that energy up into the heart, and my system is just kind of decide what to do for me. For me, it lifted me up into the heart. For some of, right, when we do that, what we end up doing is denying ourselves pleasure. So rigid type of character, rigid type of boundaries, rigid type of denying myself pleasure, denying myself simple joys, denying myself nourishment even, as a sense of security. Because in those early stages, it didn't feel safe to do those things. So for me, and for many of us, we pull it up into the heart. Because culturally, especially if you're on the feminine scale of things, culturally, when you operate from the heart, especially as a female gender in this culture, you're allowed to do that. This is where you get your needs met. By being a martyr for everybody else's problems, by taking on everybody else's bullshit, by taking care of everybody else's needs except for your own. Deny your lower chakras and come be the caregiver for everybody else. What this ends up becoming, and I'm speaking from personal experience, both mine and then also sharing things as a coach, right? What this looks like is that I'm going to take care of people in hopes that they will take care of me. Those of you who have done this will know that the more you do this, the more you realize that this is not how you get your needs met, and that people are never really going to be able to take care of all of your needs, no matter how much you do for them. And this is also what creates codependency. It says that I need the other person or something outside of me for my needs to get met. And it puts us in a cycle of reactivity. 40 years old right now and just figuring this out. I just turned 40 last month, and some of these things are like, there was information I had before, you know what I mean? Like this stuff up here in the prefrontal cortex. But in the last several years, I've distilled that information into understanding. And when I share these things, I'm sharing with you guys from personal experience, from personal challenges, pitfalls, all sorts of. Someday I'll tell my whole life story. Someday I'll tell you guys the whole shebang. But there's been a lot. But it wasn't until integrating the practices and turning them into understanding, distilling them into understanding, we can have the knowledge all of our lifetimes, and it will never help us until we distill it into understanding. Like I did with our flow today, right? We moved through tension arises. I set my intention to work with that tension. I show up for that with action, back it up with action, and then I surrender to whatever comes up within me. It's that simple. I love the idea that the simplest practices are truly the most powerful because I have found it true in practice. Blessings, movement meditation. Greenwise, how to escape the expectation of being a caregiver in that situation? Walking away. that's going to be dependent on our unique situations. I can't give, there are no one size fits all answers to a lot of these things because our energy systems are so unique, right? Our energy systems are influenced by our unique experience and our unique perception, and those experiences and those energy signatures and those egos and all that create lenses through which we see our experience. And so we always must remember, right, that there's like more than just we experience, but also so much of what we experience creates our reality. And so how many times, let me give you an example of, my experiences operating from here. What was I doing? I was weaponizing my energy. The only way I knew how to get my needs met was to take care of other people. That, and I have a really heavy, a really open throat chakra. So I'd verbalize a lot of that stuff. Talk. A very, very verbal processing kind of person. And I felt like if I could explain things enough, right, people would understand. So I was taking care of everybody. I was over explaining things, trying to help everybody. And I was using this energy to try to get my needs met. So what does that look like? I am expressing finite energy from my system. There's universal prana. That's an infinite source of prana that comes into my system and turns into my finite system. My heart generates my toroidal field around me. That's my finite system of energy. I have only so much of that to use in certain ways. So I've got energy pulled up from the root. I'm not grounded in my body. Pulled up from the sacral. I deny myself pleasure and intimacy in a great many ways, become very rigid, pull myself up from the sacral chakra where I have no ability to truly control the situations and I feel very out of control of the situations. So the only way I know how to regain that control is through my voice and through my actions, through my heart, right? Through my selfless actions. Denying myself. I was equally engaging in codependency. Sometimes walking away from the situation was the answer. And there were other times that it wasn't about walking away from the situation, but it was about dropping my weapons within the situation. Jared, I love how you relate all the facets of light to the chakras. I think it's the opposite. I love how love how I found that the chakras are related to every facet of life. This is the energy body. It moves through every part of yourself. I have been working with energy since I was a kid, and I can tell you that that energy moves through everything and influences everything. The same way as when I get angry, my breath changes. Well, then I can address my breath and I can change my anger too. When an emotion, a reaction, an interaction with stimuli happens, my energy moves. Since I've been working with it since I was little, I can feel it every fucking time. I can feel it all move, right? So it's this like, wow, that person said that thing and I felt it over here and then it wiggled down my arm. Doctors used to hate me because I'd be like, what is this thing when I somebody says something not nice to me and then there's like a pinch in my heart and I feel it in my pinky finger and they're like, it's probably in your head. No, it's a genuine, it's a visceral, physiological experience and you're telling me it's in my head? No. That's what turned me away from Western medicine. I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to heal people. I wanted to take care of people. Because that's how I thought I got my needs met. But what ended up happening after time and time and time again, that I showed up to take care of everybody's needs and put mine on the very end of the to-do list and often let them go for the day, what happened? Time and again, I found myself hurt. And eventually, as some of you know from sharing my stories, I nearly lost my life. And I have chronic conditions now that we're working through because of the stress, because of the push and pull, because of the anxiety, because of the forcing myself to carry the weight of other people's people. I don't have another word for it. Dad Squatch, so happy we still have you. I'm really grateful too. I'm really grateful because it literally, I mean, like I said, I've had this knowledge, I've had the information for a long time. I studied human development and wellness across the lifespan for over 12 years in college and workshops and things. I have worked in the field of human development and wellness for over 20 years across the lifespan, from prenatal to postmortem. I had the info. I had the knowledge. I had the certifications. I had the words. But after that last event, I think it was actually just 2 years ago, maybe a little more now, right? But it was February. I left that February of 2022. I was just looking at it the other day. I think I left February of 2022. And in that time, having lost pretty much everything, including my sanity, and still being a single mom and having no choice at that point, right? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Are you just going to not show up one day? I couldn't. That last little bit, it was him. I know it was him that kept me here. That made me do something. Because at that point, I was done. I was so low. I was so empty. I was so broken. I was so hurt. I got heavily gaslit. I ended up in a situation for several years where I was being progressively manipulated from a whole family. And coming out of that kind of trauma, that kind of psychological manipulation, changes your brain. Changes your brain. It changed my ability to speak clearly. I ended up having seizures at the end of that relationship. My body, yeah. When I left, the only thing I could do was to show up without any expectation. I know you guys have heard me talk about this. The way I got through that, the first thing I did was that I would roll out my yoga mat every day, and I committed to being there for 15 minutes. 15 minutes every day. I didn't do yoga. I didn't meditate. I didn't breathe. I didn't do anything that was supposed to be done, any self-care, because at that point, I had no capacity for self-care. I was so angry. I was so at myself. When you spend all of those years studying interpersonal communication, human development and wellness, and psychology and philosophy, and literally the philosophy of language and how language works and how manipulation works, and when you grow up with a narcissist and sociopath and all these, like, how do you still end up being manipulated like that? I thought I knew better. I thought I could protect myself and my son better. I thought that would never be me. That would never be me. So when I left, you can only imagine how bad the self-talk was. So I knew I had to do something. So I'd spend 15 minutes a day on my mat. Yeah, Dad Squatch, it was almost like death. Yeah, it was. It was. Honestly, it was an ego death. It was an energetic death. I realized that this, something that had always been encouraged by my culture and by the people around me, the shame and fear that come from using your heart in a way that ultimately hurt you and those you care about the most is so confusing and so disorienting. For those first several weeks, I would just lay on the mat and throw tantrums. For the first several weeks, I would lay on the mat and just beat my fists on it. Scream, cry, and listen to that negative self-talk just bitch and bitch and bitch and bitch and bitch and bitch and bitch. Because she was right. I had been weaponizing my energy. I had been irresponsible. I had been ignoring red flags. I had been. And the only way to move past it was to take responsibility for it, not to blame myself for being a victim in a situation where I was genuinely manipulated. I was genuinely a victim in that situation. But I will only remain a victim if I cannot find any way to take responsibility for it. So slowly, I started looking at all of those pieces. I started bringing my energy back in and saying, any of the normal reactivity, it was like a total reset. I still had reactivity, but I was so afraid of any expression that everything that came up, I felt and stopped and held and was like, wait, is this that thing again? Am I trying to do something that's going to eventually hurt me? Am I repeating that pattern, right? It was literally life or death. I can't keep repeating that pattern. I can't keep putting myself and now my son in that situation. So I closed my temple doors. And I started cleaning house, renovating my temple, washing the graffiti off the walls. For the first time in my life, I truly started practicing self-care. For the first time in my life, I truly gave myself permission to just be truly me, not the triggered me, not the reactive me. So how to find me underneath the triggers and reaction and ego characters and manifestations? Negotiation, presence, intention and attention. Your intention and your attention are the most powerful things you have. I'm telling you that from the last couple of years of using my intention and my attention in the present moment and meeting whatever comes up with curiosity and willingness. That's it. Do I still have rough days? Yeah. Do I still have reactivity? Yeah. But I balance them with self-love, with compassion, with understanding. Remember when you were young, if you ever heard this saying, and somebody said, you'll know when you meet somebody, you'll know when you find true love. You know when you really find love. I always hated that. So like, what do you mean? I want to know what it feels like so I can know for sure when I find it. This thing of self-love, I could not have fathomed of what it would feel like and what it would look like and what it would be like in actual practice when I embodied that. And that is more confirmation than I need for anything else. When I first started teaching, actually it was about a year into teaching maybe on here, I had somebody message me privately and tell me how they think I'm a fraud and that I should just know that they know, and it's this, I don't know, it was just this little message where they were like, you're a fraud and this and that, and you should just know that I know. You're manipulating people or whatever. And I looked at it and I actually chuckled. Instead of triggering me, I actually chuckled because I was like, for the first time in my life, I am more real, more raw, more me than I have ever been. And the universe offers me a reflection. It offers me an opportunity to deny what I have just discovered and learned and cultivated and go, oh yeah, you're right, I am a fraud. Because I still have imposter syndrome, right? I could have taken it in and I could have used it, letting them paint my temple, letting them paint the lenses of my perception. Not anymore, friends. This is my temple. These are my lenses, and I choose what color my glasses are. So then I can thank that person for the opportunity to reflect back on that, for the opportunity to choose me, to choose my truth instead of someone else's baloney. I don't even like baloney. AJ, how did I learn to let it in? It just felt natural, or... I think initially, like when I was really when you say let it in, I'm assuming you mean just kind of like whatever comes up in your system, right? It wasn't about letting things. It was about surrendering, right? It wasn't, I mean, maybe that is kind of letting. It was about allowing, yeah. It was about being present. Really, presence is the most important thing. Because if I'm present, I can feel something happening in my body. And judgment, remember, judgment comes from the past. So I'm not present if I'm judging. So in the present moment, how do I meet whatever comes up? With curiosity. Oh, hello, tension in my shoulders. Oh, hello, clenching jaw. Oh, hello, thought that was negative and like, you know, saying nasty shit to me. Hi, hello, welcome. What do you have for me today? I treat it like a messenger. I treat it like an ally. I treat it like a friend who comes knocking on my door saying, hey, I need a little bit of your attention. Or a child who comes begging at my table, hey, can you play with me? Or sometimes, can you cuddle me? Maybe I need a burp. Maybe I need a nap. Maybe I just need some kind words. Maybe I need some silliness. But if I don't ask what comes up, what it needs, then I'm just like the parent that denies all their kids' needs and just decides to operate from the parent's brain. That's not good for our kids. It's not good for your inner kids either. It sounds like they were hella projecting though, I know. Yes, badass blind woman, I've never felt the love that I have felt in myself for myself. Yeah, of course, guys. Hey, Bill, how you doing? Goosey, weird. It won't let you share the live. Again, TikTok likes to do weird things. Guys, like, if you follow me, sometimes TikTok will unfollow you from me. I've heard people that follow me who don't get the notifications for the lives. So I want to add this piece. You didn't miss the Kriya yet. We're going to go ahead and do the Kriya right now. I'm going to add this one last caveat. Social media does absolutely fuck with my content. My content is not divisive. It's not exaggerated and sensationalized. It's not meant to get you all upset. It's not meant, you know, like, it's helpful, it's healing, and I'm offering you tools that you don't have to pay anybody for, not even me. So the social media platforms don't like that. So they hide my stuff, don't share my stuff, unfollow people from me. During the lives, I'll get like tons and tons of follows, and then I'll get off the live and they're like, you have 5 new followers. I said, bullshit. I counted at least more than that. So that we are using our energy wisely, I invite you to come into the Discord. We have a Discord space. You can find the link on my Patreon page, patreon.com/move with change. I am Move with Change on TikTok, on YouTube, on Patreon, on Linktree, and pretty much everywhere else you hang out, but I really only spend my time. Classes go on YouTube, replays are on YouTube, everything goes on TikTok, including all of my content, because you can download my stuff, you can keep the stuff, you can comment on the stuff, and if you ask me questions on my content, I'll make you more content. It helps me make more content and answer more questions, which is ultimately what makes me feel so much me. Yeah, Pooty Toots, it'll turn the live off. Oh, good, Goosey. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. So, this live has kicked you off 3 times. Yeah. Come into the Discord. The link is on my Patreon page. Again, do the hearts help, Dad Squatch? Yes, they do. We're in this really like juicy spot where we just got over 10,000 followers, but we need like double the views, and TikTok is actively like messing with the views and interactions. So I feel like it's one of those things that we actually just need a huge push of sharing the live, liking the live. You know, gifting is great, but it's not required in this space at all. It's not expected in this space, but those things really do help. The more you interact with it, the more you engage with it, the more you support it and say you like it, and the more you share it, the more it will get out. But also then they give us a random restriction, and then they'll hide the live. So who knows? I don't know. So if you want to come in, if you want to explore this stuff a lot more in depth, outside of the live sessions, come into the Discord. Again, it's free to join the Discord, and it will be free to join the Discord. The only thing I charge for, information is free in this space. No more gatekeeping. What I do charge for is my time. If you want to work directly with me and you want to join us for group coaching or do private coaching or any other things like that, if you want support through your process, direct one-on-one support, you can get that through membership. Everything else is information that I share freely because knowledge is power, and those who have the information control the information. They control the narrative, and those who control the narrative create the paradigm. And right now we are in the middle of a paradigm that doesn't suit our well-being, that is not encouraging our self-actualization. And if you are like me and don't like the idea of being puppeted by like a handful of people who are just greedy as fuck and have no interest in me being a human and more just me interested in being a number and a bill, right? Or a resource for them, no fucking way. No fucking way. If you'd like to join me in that no fucking way to the current paradigm, come join me in the Discord. That said, in the Discord, we're also going to be doing a workshop on home funerals. I'm also a death midwife, so we're going to be doing on Halloween, we're going to be doing a workshop on home funerals. I will start posting about home burial rites by state. Once we finish the Kriya, I'm going to start posting those videos. So you guys will start seeing videos about burial rites, home burial rites per state, and that's going to be leading us up to the workshop on home funerals over Halloween, or over the couple of days about Halloween and Dia de los Muertos. That workshop is going to be all about pre-planning what happens, what to expect when somebody actually passes at home, and the steps that are needed to take, whether they be legal steps like who to call, death certificate filing, that kind of stuff, and then also how to take care of your loved one at home. And coupled with the posts that I'll be making, it will also tell you how long you can keep somebody at home, whether or not you're required to have a funeral director involved, and all of that stuff. Those laws are state by state, so the workshop itself is just going to be about the process and the ceremony and the legal considerations on a basic level, and then the content will be about the state by state regulation. So that's coming up here shortly in October. We have until October 10th to finish our Kriya. This is the Kriya for addiction. So we're on day 34. The workshop is free. The workshop is free and will be held in the Discord. I'm not doing the workshop on the lives on the socials because I don't want them to restrict me millions of times when I say death, death, dying, all that stuff. So we're going to do it in the Discord, and continuing past the end of October, we will continue doing workshops in the Discord. So we're going to change the schedule a little bit. Keep an eye out for schedules being posted at the top of my content here on TikTok, as well as over on YouTube. Those are the two places that I cultivate the most of my content, and will always keep those things up to date. I'm unreliable on the other socials. I don't like to go on them. So thank you, Claire. Goosey, yeah, death is so beautiful, just like birth. Oh my God, death education is so needed. It is. So I am a certified death midwife, but I am not offering a certification program, right? So what I'm offering here is for the tools for you to do so personally or share with family. I may eventually talk about a death doula or death midwife certification program, but that's a bigger thing that I would have to put together, and it would definitely be an in-person thing. So maybe in the wings, because I love building workshops. But when we teach the workshops will be free. After the workshop is over, I will put it on my Patreon page for sale, and you can purchase the workshop itself as a package with the replays and all the other stuff. So that's how we're going to do that, because I don't like to charge for information, but I do need to charge for my time, right? There needs to be an exchange. So anyway, all those things said, you guys want to come join me for this Kriya? I'm on day 34. Let me know what day you're on. If today is day 1 for you, don't worry. We're going to walk through all the steps, and we'll get you through your first day of this Kriya. So what is a Kriya? Kundalini Kriya. What is a Kriya? Kriya and karma actually mean the same thing, action, but they mean a different type of action. Karma is an action that we do outside of ourselves. Hey, Eric, how are you, my friend? Karmas are actions that we do that interact with the external world, with the material world. This is my cycle of samsara stuff. Pretty much anything I do outside of me, from hugging a person to helping somebody or hurting somebody, all of these things are going to incur karma. Kriyas are actions that we do within ourselves that seek to align our systems, that seek to release us from these cycles of karma, from that wheel of samsara, and ultimately help lead us to self-actualization or enlightenment all the way up there. So, this particular kriya is the kriya for addiction. And by addiction, I mean any habit, pattern. We were just talking about habits, weren't we? We were just talking about energy patterns, right? This kriya helps us realign our system through better communication with our physiological self, with our energetic self, with our emotional self. This kriya works by clearing the third eye channel. Remember, the front of your third eye is here at the brow. Everybody knows that, right? Pretty much. Here's your third eye. Do you know where the back of your third eye is? The pineal gland. Your third eye is the only chakra that is angled like that. These other chakras are parallel to the earth. The top and the bottom go perpendicular to the earth. This one, at an angle. Why? Because it's our pathway to the higher self and to the subconscious self. This is how we communicate with the different layers of ourself, right? So this kriya works to clarify that channel and works to improve our communication, strengthen our communication through that channel so that we can better communicate with our subconscious and superconscious selves. When we better communicate with our subconscious and our superconscious self, we are far less likely to continue to choose these things that hurt us or pull us off balance, because we bring awareness, because we are enlightening our systems by opening up and using our light of awareness, our light of intuition, to understand, bring understanding into our systems. Yeah, you heard another name for what you figured is the back of the third eye chakra, the Alta Major chakra. Yes, so I have heard in some cases people will rename the back chakras, or some of them, but I talk about them as two ends of a channel because that's how I've experienced them. Again, I've been working with energy since I was a kid. Most of the stuff that I'm sharing with you guys is from my experiential and visual understanding, and then coupled with the informational stuff I later found, right? I knew the system before, and then I went and studied the things. So now I have the terms that are the common terms for the things, but I don't always have all the common terms. Alta Major chakra. I'm going to make a note of that and check it out. And if the mention of chakras and the talk of energy is exciting to you and you're like, oh my God, I need to hang out just so we can talk about all the chakras, kind of like my friend up there said a minute ago of like, I love how you relate all the things to the energy body. It's because the energy body moves through everything. So if those things excite you, I just want to give you a brief heads up that next year we're going to spend the entire year going through all of the parts of the energy body, from the aura, the koshas, the elements, the channels, major and minor channels, the chakras themselves, the 7 chakras themselves, as well as the earth star and the solar star and the universal star chakras too. Hand chakras, we're going to go into the minor stuff as well. We're going to spend the entire year next year doing that. This year we spent 1 week on each of the 7 chakras, and that was it. Next year we're going to dive really deep, and each month I'm going to pack in all of the tools for each chakra. So when we're talking about the aura, we're going to be packed full of how to address the aura, the energy body itself, how to view the energy body itself, how to see the colors of your own aura, potentially other people's as well. Once you start viewing energy, you can start seeing it in other people too. We will dive deeply into all of these topics. So that's what 2025 is all about. I am building a workbook to go with it next year. This is a big project. Again, it's a heart-centered project for me because I love this so much and I know how helpful and effective it is. So I'm building a workbook that's going to go with the workshop, with the classes next year. Remember, the classes are free. I'm going to build this workbook so that you can deepen your practice. That is going to be for sale on Patreon. I'm going to try to get that out by Christmas so you guys can have it and get it to you before the new year starts. I'll probably have a print copy. I'm probably going to work on a print copy, especially since we're going to go such a huge thing next year. So I'm just excited about all the things that are happening, and so I want to tell you guys about all the things that we're doing. But we're really doing day 34 of the Kriya. Tell me to cut it out. Send me. So say, go. Come on. Sometimes I need to be poked. All right. So let's go ahead and do our Kriya. Want to sit here with this guy? No, I'll put him over here. No, I'll put him over here. Who is Puppy? This is Ajna. Ajna is catching flies. And Ajna just got fixed. And so you guys will see him in and out of his cone. I'm being a little bit of a rebel here, keeping his cone off. Hi, dog. Yes, they're talking about you. They want to know how you're doing. Yeah. Hi. Hello. Yes. His name is Ajna. Ajna is the Sanskrit term for the third eye because he is a healer. And healers, the breed has a star mark on their head up there. So, a third eye mark. So we called him Ajna. He's a good boy. Leb, I knew I didn't miss it. I was just poking you. You know that I get sidetracked chatting about all the things that I love. He's a very handsome young man. I apologize, guys. He did, like I said, he just got fixed, so no puppies for him. No puppies for him. Huh. You don't need any puppies either. You don't need any puppies anyway. I love him. But I'm going to do a Kriya. I'm going to do the Kriya. Yeah. Oh. It's not pets time. Oh, shit. We got started. Only need the cone if he's licking the stitches. Thank you, Narasart. So he has been really good about not licking them, and he knows he's not supposed to. If you've ever had a healer, they are extremely intelligent dogs. Because every time I hear him, right, because he makes the, like, gross dog licking sounds. I'm like, I hear you, stop. So he's been really, really good. And I guess you guys can't alert me. I'm going to sit here for 5 minutes with the Kriya. If he starts licking during the Kriya, we're just going to have to let him lick for a minute. So, 5-minute practice. You want to do a 5-minute practice to clarify your third eye and improve communication throughout your system with your subconscious, superconscious self? Come on. Let's do it. Oh, Narsa, you grew up in a vet clinic? Nice. Oh, good stretch. Down dog. He's good doing that. He does do good down dog. He does a good down dog. Okay, so again, for those of you who this is your first day, we're going to move through the steps of this Kriya, so don't sweat it. Hold on, dog. Hold on, dog. Let me get my pillows. No, I'm not playing right now. I'm not playing right now. I'm trying. No, you have to. Okay, I want to do my Kriya. I would send you outside, but you don't have the cone on. I love him. I love him, I do, but guess what? It's not your turn right now. It's not your turn, okay? Okay? Okay, sorry, he needed some pets, guys. He needs some pets. Yeah, they are a very good distraction. I'm trying to get to this Kriya, but he needed a minute. We got to give him a second. You've been so good. We did the whole, what? We've been on for almost, oh God. Oh, it's a good stretch. Oh. You silly boy. Wait, let me sit. Oh. Okay, so for this Kriya, you'll want to find yourself a comfortable seated position. This Kriya is best done seated upright. Mr. Marshmallow, help, I fell in love and I can't get out. Oh. I do love him. I do love him. Okay, He's my bestie. For the first time in my life, I have an answer to the question, if I was stuck on a deserted island, who would I have with me? This guy. This guy. Yeah, you. Because you'd find food, you'd help protect me, you'd keep me warm, you'd play with me. I'm not playing with the bear right now, though. Okay. Every time I say okay, he's like, no. Okay. Oh, stop saying okay. All right. That's just another version of okay, D. So, for this Kriya, it takes a few minutes to get into the Kriya and a few minutes to get out. But the practice, the center of the center practice is just 5 minutes. I've got my handy dandy timer to keep us on track, and I've got it within view, so I can just barely peek my eyes open at it and not lose my practice. To get into our practice, we are going to take 3 deep breaths to find our alignment, and then we're going to say the Adi mantra 3 times. The Adi mantra goes Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. If anybody can spell that for me, awesome. I know I had somebody yesterday who did that. Thank you very much. Ong, O-N-G, Namo, N-A-M-O, Guru, G-U-R-U, Dev, D-E-V, Namo, N-A-M-O. Sanskrit for I honor the lineage of gurus that have come before me. I honor the guru within me. It is imperative to acknowledge the fact that it is not just the lineage of gurus that I receive wisdom from, but it is the guru within me that actually does the illuminating of my system. Anybody I can receive information from many sources, but unless I allow my guru to examine and integrate that information, it stays up here as knowledge that I have just acquired from something external. So we honor the lineage of gurus and the guru within. You did it, Lev. Thank you. And then we will settle our breath, set our intention. Then we roll the thumbs up to the temples. Remember that in this space, we cultivate our intention and we let go of all tension. So as you sit here, 5 full minutes, thumbs on temples, make sure that you are making just an intentional connection, but not putting pressure and creating tension. Make sure that you are elongating your spine with intention, and then releasing the tension in the shoulders and the elbows and the hands and the arms. If you notice, this is the hardest, most challenging part of the practice, is keeping the arms up here. So as you experience tension, it's going to build, especially if you're new to this practice. In the neck, in the shoulders, in the arms, maybe even in the hands, in the upper back, in the low back. You can experience it in your belly depending on where the tension is in your system. So you are your own guru. As you sit in this space, if you notice the tension in your shoulder blades, breathe. Inhale to create space. Exhale to release. Make minor adjustments. Pull those elbows a little bit back. Allow them to fall a little forward if you're too far back. Realign your chin with the gentle intention, tucking your chin, lifting through the top of the head. All of these little tiny minute shifts that we can make. This practice is not about stillness. This practice is not about perfection. It is about meeting yourself wherever that tension arises and surrendering to it, allowing it to release, surrendering to the fact that it's here, it's with you, and that's okay. And by that acceptance, we give it permission to go. Make minor adjustments if we need them for the duration of the 5 minutes. As you get your elbows up here, you will also gently clench and release the back molars. Each time you clench, saying one word from this mantra: Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. You'll gently clench and release the back molars. Remember, we're not cracking teeth, okay? With intention, not by creating tension. Now, in this case, we are creating tension and releasing that tension. Creating tension and releasing that tension, right? Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma is just the cycle of creation, cycle of samsara, cycle of life, right? Birth, life, death, rebirth. Actually, it's whatever it is, rebirth. It's down here. Death isn't up here. It's over here. So, Goosey, thank you. You said you're amazing for doing this for free. Here's the reality. If we were anywhere else in the world, if you ran into me in a grocery store or we were sitting over coffee or you called me as a friend and asked for support, I would give you the information for free. So I realized how disingenuous it was for me to charge for some information for some people and not for others. So to be in my authenticity, this stuff happens for free. Again, if you want support, coaching, private stuff, I have memberships for that. But we're going to sit for our Kriya right now. The only thing that is available to you is your inner guru. Right now, we are focusing on the breath, the mantras, the present moment here and now. If anything else comes up, thoughts about the past, worries about the future, whatever it is, inhale its existence. Hello, nice to see you. And let it go with the exhale, bringing your attention back to your practice. Okay? Once we finish with the 5 minutes, we will close with our Adi mantra, offering gratitude and the like, and we will make sure we take a moment to rest, to experience the self-healing capacity of our system. So, I'll guide you through all the pieces, but wanted to give them to you beforehand so you kind of know where we're headed. All right. Find yourself a spot, give yourself some wiggles, shake it out. You shook out your bear. Good job, dog. Why don't you lay down for this? No. Got excited. I heard shaking. Thank you, Leb. All right. So let's bring our palms together at the heart, anchoring the thumbs to the sternum, and we're going to take 3 deep breaths here to find our posture. First, inhale through the nose, pulling the breath through the lungs and into the belly. Go ahead and expand the belly with your inhale. And let it go with an exhale. Inhale again, expanding the rib cage in all directions. Big, deep breath. Let it go. Inhale again, this time lifting the heart and lifting through the top of the head to elongate the spine. As you exhale, melt the shoulder blades down the back. Gently tuck the chin to bring intention to your posture. And release any other tension anywhere else in the body. Just take a quick scan. Are you holding your jaw? Are you holding your belly? Are you clenching your pelvic floor? Are your feet all tense? Just scan the system, release any tension. You can take a couple more deep breaths if you need to. Inhaling to create space for the sensation, exhaling to release it. Let's go ahead and say our Adi mantra again 3 times. Inhale. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Go ahead and seal the lips. Find your comfortable, steady rhythm of breath. Take this moment to set your intention. If there's any pattern, habit that keeps patterning through your life and you're ready to let go of it, go ahead and give it some of your time, some of your attention right now. Invite it to release with this practice. Or if there's nothing in particular, you can also just invite better alignment. Go ahead and Bring those thumbs up to the temples, curling your fingers into your palms, hands facing forward, elbows nice and open. Create space by relaxing the shoulders, melting the shoulder blades down your back. Nice long spine, lifting to the top of the head. Again, gently tuck your chin to bring intention to your posture. Releasing all tension. And then begin, clench and release, saying the mantra, Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. 5 minutes begins now. At the end of your next exhale, go ahead and complete the mantra and release the practice, lowering your arms to rest in your lap. Offer yourself a moment here just to be. This is an opportunity to witness the body's self-healing capacity. Notice as the tension generated by the 5 minutes practice slowly unravels itself from your body, from your muscles, integrating into your system. These are messages your system is receiving and integrating into understanding, into better alignment, to improved communication. Remember, the brain is self-confirming. So when we take these opportunities to watch as our bodies naturally realign themselves, we reinform the brain. And we teach it to look for these ways that the body is healing itself. This is how we shift our narrative. You'll notice that by now some of those feelings have integrated. You're welcome to stay here a little bit longer if you'd like to continue integrating the sensations. When you're ready to close your practice, I invite you to bring your palms together, anchoring your thumbs to your sternum, and for a moment offer gratitude for the practice. Offer gratitude for the prana, the life force flowing through us, aligning us with our highest truth, highest purpose. Offer gratitude for a moment for the very things that you are hoping to release with this practice. These symptoms, these habits, these patterns and addictions are ways that our system informs us, communicates with us. So offer gratitude. Thank you. Offer gratitude to yourself as well for taking the time for this practice and for taking the time to improve communication with yourself and for taking the time to honor the fact that these things that we call bad habits are actually my allies communicating with me. Let's go ahead and close with our Adi mantra 3 times. Inhale. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Thank you so much for joining me for today's practice and helping me cultivate this CAYA space where we can learn and grow and thrive together. When you're ready to close your practice, I encourage you to rub your palms together and cup them over your eyes, fluttering your eyes open behind the warmth of your hands to ease in the transition. Woo! That still affected my vision. Note, that's a perfect opportunity. Note that when you practice anything that works with the third eye, you are very likely to experience shifts in your vision. The third eye manages your actual eyes. So I encourage you to come out of these practices, especially when you sit for 5 minutes or more. You want to make sure that you're gentle with the eyes, make that transition nice and smooth. Oh. Day 34, done. I'm gonna keep coming live for the Kriya until October 10th, because that will be 40 days for me. For those of you who are just starting or are not on day 34, and anybody who'd like to practice later, there is a playlist for this Kriya on YouTube. It's called the 40-Day Meat Suit Challenge. I think it says Kriya for Addiction. There are 40 days worth of practice videos, 5-minute practice videos with a cool little mandala that goes with them. Feel free to use those for other things too. And there's also an instruction video. So in case you forget how to use this or do the Kriya, or you just want to do it later on at a different time. This is a really good one for the beginning of the year. I did it last year at the beginning of the year, and just really needed it again for different patterns, right? Once we clear one pattern out, we realize there's another pattern underneath. C'est la vie. All right, so remember guys, replays for Tiny Yoga, for classes, are on YouTube. Go follow me on YouTube. I'm Move with Change on YouTube. We did our Tiny Yoga flow this morning. Fridays at 10 a.m. I come on live for Tiny Yoga. It's a chair yoga flow, 20-30 minute flow for everybody and every space. And then replays for the Kriyas, some of the days, are also on YouTube too. But the other classes that we do, the official classes we do on YouTube. If you follow me here on TikTok, though, then you get all the shenanigans and the random lives that I go live for. If you want to truly engage more deeply with this content, with the community, with the material, with your energy, if you want to interact more with me and the people doing in this community, doing the work with also of coming home to themselves, come join the Discord. The Discord is free to join. Like I said, I do have membership levels if you want to support the work that I'm doing, since I do these classes for free. I greatly appreciate that. You guys keep the internet on so that I can do the classes for free. So there are donation levels of membership. There's also a tip jar. I have Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, all that stuff. But the focus here, again, guys, is information sharing. Knowledge is power. Those who control the information control the narrative. Those who control the narrative control the paradigm. And we know collectively we are waking up to the fact that the current paradigm that we are in, the current structures of the system, are not conducive to our self-actualization. If my system is designed, is expectant of self-actualization, then that is where I would like to head. I am not interested in denying the impetus of my system in favor of a handful of fat cats being greedy, right? So if you're like me and no longer want to be puppeted by the system or by the programs that we are offered when we are children, the programs that get written into our system by the natural state of enculturation, if you would like to realign your system and find the guru within so you don't have to go clamoring for other people's energy and other people's time and other resources and things outside of yourself, then please come into the Discord. And if you really wanted to get into it, grab yourself a membership and come join us for group coaching or do one-on-one coaching. All of the above are available. I do also, as a side note, offer what I call coaching intensives. So the coaching intensives are 40 days, and I'm not doing any now because I'm doing my 40-day Kriya, but I will open that up when I'm not doing the 40-day Kriya. So after October 10th, I will have one slot at a time available for the coaching intensive. The coaching intensive requires multiple sessions per week, or offers you multiple sessions per week, and pretty much just moves you through big transitions or major hurdles kind of stuff. So reach out to me. I always recommend people reach out to me before you grab that level of membership, just so we can talk about the expectations of that and whether or not that's really the appropriate course of action. Because sometimes we can just sort things out in group coaching a lot easier. Anyway, all those things are available. I appreciate you guys holding space. I appreciate you guys sharing the content, sharing the lives, engaging, and I'm grateful these practices reach you. I'm grateful for the opportunity to share these practices. I'm grateful for the opportunity to answer questions and give information, right? For those of you who know anything about human design, I just recently learned some about it in the last couple of years. And my authority is to respond. So when I read that, I remember it ringing so true. I was like, yes, this is what I've been trying to put into words for so long. The authority of responding means that when you guys ask me a question on the content, or you mention something here in the chat, or we talk about something in Discord, when you ask for it, the tools magically, like a Disney movie, like some, like, what's it called? what's it called? Fantasia. Some moment at Fantasia, right? All the tools come climbing out of the toolbox and they're like, here, this person needs this herbal thing and this pranayama thing and this other mantra thing and then this other practice, right? And it's this cute little package that carries itself out of my toolbox and is delivered to you. If I sit down and try to write down listing all the things that I have studied and like put it together in a book, I tried, it gets lost. I can't find the pieces. I can't make the connections. I know the information is there. I know the tools are there, but I just can't seem to access it. You hold the key to unlock the toolbox. Just like when I'm in need, then suddenly the things I need come to the surface. So in that way, I need you too. I need you to help me uncover these things, to help me bring these things to the surface so that they can be given wings, right? And fly to whoever needs them. It's Friday today, so that means tomorrow is our big kahuna meditation, assuming that I don't have another kinked nerve in my neck like I did last week. We will have our longer session. So, not longer, it's about the same time. So tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific time, I will go live. We will hang out for a little bit. We will do our bigger meditation with our mudra for the week. What is our mudra for the week? It's the Mandala Mudra. We will sit tomorrow with the Mandala Mudra in a nice extended meditation. Expect to spend probably at least 10 minutes in meditation. I do like to go for really long, but I won't do that to you guys. So tomorrow is that meditation. I encourage you to come join us. Probably 11 or 10:30. I usually wait a little bit, right? So people can filter in. And then afterwards, yes, thank you, Leb. And then afterwards, we do group coaching immediately after the live, so that folks who want to try out group coaching, the group coaching level of membership has a free trial on it. So if you want to come in and try group coaching tomorrow, right out of the live, you're welcome to do so. All you got to do is get into the Discord and let me know, hey, I'd like to try out group coaching. You don't even have to sign up for the membership. If you decide to take it later, then we'll get you in through that. So it's an easy way for you to test out what that feels like, what group coaching feels like. That will be at 1 o'clock Pacific time. Everything I do is Pacific time. I'm over here by the West Coast, on the West Coast. By the West Coast? I guess it's by the West Coast because I'm a little bit inland, but not that far inland. Anyway, here is your Mandala Mudra. What does the Mandala Mudra do? This is the mudra for vision. Vision. The Mandala Mudra activates our spiritual devotion, our capacity, enhances our capacity for spiritual devotion, enhances our capacity for enlightened thinking, improves concentration, and enlightens our system to the transitory nature of all things. Remember that everything in our system, everything in creation rises and falls. Besides that universal prana, that God source, that light, that source energy that moves through everything, that frequency that moves through everything in the universe, besides that, everything else has a rise and a fall. And I love that everything is temporal, right? And I love that this mudra represents that through creating the web of the universe here on the bottom. And then the manifestation, those two fingers that are up, is the dualistic nature of creation. This is my earth element finger. This is my ring finger. So this represents the earth element in my system. And when I've got the solar and lunar, the yin and yang aspect to the earth, do you see this beautiful representation of creation within the web of source? It's really cool. I like it. So hold it here at your solar plexus, and then you want to move it out. Just give it a little scooch out so that you can sit in your meditative posture, gazing into those erect fingers here, right? Those ring fingers. You want to stare into creation. This reminds us of the unity of all things, of the interconnectedness of all things in the ways that the fingers cross over here, right? So weaving together, all of creation is interconnected. I do like the mantra with this one, just offering gratitude and requesting alignment for the collective, right? This mudra also represents the collective. So the mantra that I have been using when I hold this mudra is simply for the spiritual benefit of all beings, Jai Ma, which means just, acknowledging the mother, the great mother that is creation. It's both, right? The universe, the masculine of the celestial, and the feminine of the earth, the manifestation of creation. I like this mudra a lot. So we're going to sit for a big meditation with it tomorrow. We'll probably do some visual pieces. If you're somebody who says you can't visualize or you can't meditate, then please come join us tomorrow. You don't have to sit for the entire meditation, but we practice the really foundational pieces of mindfulness. So, yeah. So we can enlighten our systems. Sometimes we overcomplicate things. Sometimes we add so many pieces and think we have to do all of these things to cultivate mindfulness, when really all of those things are distracting ourselves from the mindfulness that we are wanting to cultivate in the first place. Meditation is a personal practice. The more you sit with it, the more it will resonate within you. There are meditations where you can release all focus, right? Release all attention, release all thought, release all everything. There are meditations like that. But I find that jumping straight into those kinds of meditations ends up leaving us feeling a little bit thwarted or a little bit naive, like, damn it, I can't do it. First, we must cultivate our ability to manage our attention in the first place. If you're sitting in meditation and your thoughts are racing and your mind's busy and your body keeps distracting you, then it's time to cultivate, then it's the opportunity to cultivate your attention. Your attention is like a flashlight. You can use it to put it on any particular thing that you are focusing on. And when you give your attention to something, we understand through quantum mechanics that you change the thing. On a on an energetic level, right? On a energetic level, frequency. You shift the frequency of a thing just by observing it. That's a lot of power. Your attention is a lot of power. You shift a thing on a quantum level when you give it your attention. Guess what we also know? That means space itself is malleable. It changes when you give it your attention. Time itself is malleable. It changes, it shifts when we give it our attention or when we don't give it our attention. Again, find yourself driving home and you're off in la la land thinking about all this stuff to do, or you're thinking about an argument with your partner before you get home, and then you miss several blocks. You just experienced a shift in time and space. This quantum stuff is not so out of reach. When you're enjoying something so much, right, and time just flies by, or when you're just lamenting something so horribly and time moves like molasses. Re-inform your brain. You know what that is? That is you affecting your reality on a quantum level. And if you have one of those whatever naysayer voices in your brain, I encourage you to start using these practices to prove it to your brain. See? Look. My experience of time is different because I gave it my attention or because I took my attention away. We can experience this in the here and now, and that is where it's most powerful. Because that's where we really are, right? We're not in the past, we're not in the future. We're just always, perpetually now. My parents are laughing about the paradox about how now is a perpetual eternity and also so temporal too. Because we have this illusion of time moving in a particular direction. And so we have this now and now and now and now because we can experience the shifting and moving of our reality around us. And yet, even though I experience this perception of movement and change, ultimately the now is all I ever have and always have. Yes, and both are true. Red Mummy Eddie, I get home and I get overloaded with what to do. Do I do dishes? Work on my dream? Right? I find that the choice of what to do matters less when we decide how to be with it. I can get home and decide to do my dishes while I complain to myself about how I'd rather be working on my dream, right? Or be frustrated that I've got to do the dishes because somebody else didn't do them and now I can't work on my dream. That's how we are being with that task. I can choose to be with that task as a meditation itself. To use the time while I'm doing my dishes to daydream about the dream itself. Or to use it as a mindfulness practice and to clear my mind of all of the dreams and all of the things beyond just the smell of the soap and the feeling of the water and the mixture of textures between rough and smooth glass and metal, forks and spoons, the smells of food or coffee or a sink trap that needs to be cleaned. Wash rice, carry water. Wash rice, carry water. Wash rice, carry water. Eat, sleep. Wash rice, carry water. Wash rice, carry water. Wash rice, carry water. Eat, sleep. Wash rice, carry water. Wash rice, carry water. Eat, sleep. It is in the foundation of the simplest practices that we can achieve the most profound states of being and understanding, most profound states of being. When I talk about these last couple of years and the practices that changed everything for me, that foundation of just be here now and meet everything that comes up with curiosity and willingness. Often we don't want to be here right now because we don't want to meet ourselves or our emotions or our feelings or other people or our world. We don't want to see what our situation's like. We feel stressed out, so we don't want to look at it. We don't want to interact with it. We don't want to talk to somebody so-and-so, right? We don't want to. But we can't expect the world to shut the fuck up so we can meditate. We can't expect the world to quit demanding things of us when we live in a paradigm that says you better be doing something, otherwise you're worthless. But we can rewrite our own paradigm by being present with every moment and being honest in each moment, being authentic in each moment with what we really need. How am I going to know what I really need? I have to cultivate a relationship with my system. I have to cultivate my attention and my intention so that I can actually be here now. Remember, we talk about the 4 pillars of mindfulness in this space. And these are the tools, these are the reminders, right, for how to meet everything in each situation. The 4 pillars of mindfulness are intention, attention, curiosity, and willingness. My intention is my guiding light. It is my North Star, or it's the star I hang in my due north, right? I set my intention, and I want my intentions to ideally be aligned with my true desires and my needs and my authentic self and my purpose, maybe even my dharma, right? I definitely want my intention to be in line with those truths, right? If we don't examine my intention, then my intention may very well be influenced or informed by things that aren't me. Old stories, old beliefs, somebody else's judgments. Like, if I'm not being aware of what's behind my intention, of where my intention is coming from, then I'm not present with my intention. So I cultivate my intention, and I decide on an intention, set an intention that feels true to me now. And then I set my attention, like a compass, on that star. And so my ship continues, my actions continue to lead me in that direction. And anytime that I notice that my ship starts to veer off this way to the past or to the future or to something else, right? I decide in that moment, is that the new intention? Or do I need to realign with my intention and come back to center? As I take this journey, anything that arises before me, around me, on my ship or above, I meet it with curiosity and willingness. That's how pirates navigate. Yes, they know the stars. Yes, they have the maps, right? You've got the captain who knows those things, the navigator who knows those things. But not every pirate on the ship is well informed. Not every pirate on the ship is captain. Not every pirate on the ship is meant to steer the boat. So when you meet each thing that arises with curiosity and willingness, then you get to truly be that first mate or that captain and decide, oh, hey, immature trigger over there that wants to like scream obscenities at somebody who cut us off in traffic. Yeah, you can take a back seat or a passenger seat, but you're not driving today. I hear that you're upset, but I'm the one in charge. We can cultivate this kind of relationship with our various aspects of self, ultimately our ego manifestations, our energetic manifestations, our patterns in ourselves. And through that relationship, cultivating that relationship, is where I learn how to truly align my allies with what they truly need to be doing. Every pirate on my ship has a purpose. Some of them are doing the jobs that they shouldn't be doing. And that creates tension and that creates misalignment. The only way I can find more alignment is to go within and have the conversations, is to be curious and willing about what comes up. And the only way to really access trauma, past self, healing from before, get into the well of bullshit, right? My shadow work and all this stuff. The only place I can access any of that is right here, right now. And everything that you need from your past is already with you. If it's unhealed, it's operating within you still. If it's misaligned, it's creating tension in your system right here, right now. Or maybe in a few minutes or whenever it does get triggered, right? It doesn't live in your actual childhood. It exists alive and well in your body now, in your breath now, in your being now. So do the radical thing. Do the radical thing and just be with yourself without the need to do anything, without the need to change anything, without the need to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, without the need to fucking no pain, no gain, without the need to push or to force or to fight with yourself. Because when you make an enemy of yourself, it's a battle you will fight every day, and that becomes the war that you wage your entire life long. And if you are like me and done fighting with yourself and the world around you, then I invite you to practice the being here now, meeting everything that comes up with curiosity and willingness, and learning to cultivate the alignment of your intention and your attention. It's these very things that walked me out of the bottom of my own personal hell and continue to lead me to the light. Hey, Maddie, how are you? I'm just closing up here. My son and I are going to go paint pumpkins today and have some pumpkin pie for lunch. We're going to have pumpkin pie and whipped cream while we paint pumpkins and maybe some other snacks. We're going to do some, it's October. We're full force now. We're full force. So last but not least, thank you all again for joining me for these classes, for these practices, for engaging, asking questions, sharing the live. interacting with the content. Thank you guys so much. I love you all so much. I deeply appreciate, as I've said a million times over, I think, and I'm going to keep saying it to you. I want you to know how grateful I am for the opportunity to hold this space. I could be sitting here by myself without anybody in here and talking to empty rooms. It's you guys that are showing up for me too. And that offers me a really amazing reflection that has been exponentially healing in ways that I really didn't expect, and it's going to make me cry. So I'm going to go ahead and stop talking about it because it's going to just make me like gush tears again. I want you to know how grateful I am that you are an important part of this community. And I want you to know how much I appreciate and honor your ability and even just brazenness to show up in this space as you truly are, to bring all of the miraculous, beautiful you to this space to share with me and the other people in this community. Skooma! You are exactly where you need to be, exactly when you need to be. You got your mudra? I'm just closing up. But today's practice is on YouTube. So if you want to go back, if you missed the Kriya practice and you want to go back and do it with me, the replay is on YouTube. When did we do it? At like 11:30? Or closer to noon. And then if you're looking for the chair yoga flow that we start our class with on Fridays, that is also on YouTube, and that's pretty much right there in the beginning. We do the yoga flow, we do the chair flow, and then we chat for a little bit, and then we do the Kriya. I want to say like between 11:30 and noon is when we did that. So, besides that, closer to noon, I think. Yeah. I'm not the best at like doing it on time in the session, but I do show up for the sessions. Hey. So here is your Mandala Mudra. Let's do the Mandala Mudra one more time before we close up, because I want you to have this to sit with it for as long as it feels good to sit with. This is a really soothing, juicy mudra, especially when you couple it with the staring meditation, gazing into those manifest creation, earth element channels. Okay. Let's do it again. Okay. Turn your palms over, facing up. Open up all those fingers. Cross your pinkies. I like to lift my pinkies like this and cross them. Then touch the pads of the thumbs to the tips of the pinkies. Now roll those the ring fingers back to back. And as you do, you'll notice your middle fingers cross, right? As you roll them, those middle fingers cross. That's good. Let them cross. And then once you've got the ring fingers back to back, those middles will be crossed. Use your index to just hook the tips of those middle fingers. Got it? This one is the mudra for vision. It is called the Mandala Mudra. It awakens spiritual devotion. It cultivates an enlightened thinking patterns in our mind. It improves concentration. It enlightens our systems to the transitory nature of all things, the finite nature of all things in creation. It also represents the unity, the interconnectedness of everything in the universe. Notice the foundation of the universe, the web of the universe around the manifestation of Earth, of creation. What is Earth but the creation manifest, right? It's all the energy of the universe manifesting into creation. So that's represented here in the universe. It is totally, what's the word? Egocentric, isn't it? Not egocentric, because heliocentric says the sun moves around the world, or moves around, the sun is the center, yeah, whereas the earth is the center. I guess you just call it terracentric, but anyway, Copernicus is called, you are not the center of the universe. But in this mudra, slow one more time please, you bet it, you bet, Skooma. Let me give you guys the other way too, because Regal Poison offered a reflection the other day. Leb, have a great day. A reflection for how she likes to get into the mudra, and it's a little bit easier for her. So I'm going to offer that one too. So the way that Regal Poison was suggesting was that when she brings her palms or hands together like this, fingers back to back, so then you get those ring fingers to touch back to back. Keep those ring fingers back to back. Cross the pinky fingers and the middle fingers. See how those open and cross? Keep those ring fingers erect. Touch the tips of the pinkies to the pads of the thumbs. And then use the index fingers to hook the tips of the crossed middle fingers. We can do it again. I can do it again and again and again. There is also, remember every week on Sunday, I post a video of this showing you guys how to get into it. And this week, I think I actually posted another video too to show you guys how to get into it, because it is a little bit kinky, isn't it? It's a little bit more basket weaving, somebody said. Is that good? Everybody's got it? I'll assume if you don't answer, it means you have it, because you're sitting there going, how do I tell her I've got it? Can you text like that? No, doesn't work. Don't try. Yay! All right. Enjoy your Mandala Mudra. Remember that when you do the mudra, you want to hold the mudra. Once you get your hands twisted into the mudra, you want to drop it down in front of your solar plexus, but you want to keep it out far enough that you can close your eyes and just open your eyelids ever so slightly and gaze into, so you're going to be gazing down the bridge of your nose so that you can look at the earth fingers. Gazing into creation. You want to hold your mudra for a minimum of 5 minutes, because it takes about 5 minutes for energy to circulate through your system. And besides that, if you can't get it perfectly, please honor where you are in the moment. Invite more space by finding the edge and respecting that boundary, right? We don't get there by force, especially with the intangible stuff. Yes, this is a tangible physical thing. And the more we cultivate our attention and our intention, and the more we accept where we're at with this mudra right here, and with any of them, the more space we create for the mudra to come to us. This is a big thing that we do in here too. We shift the idea that I have to go out there and do something to make any of these things happen. Enlightenment is available to me within my system. I don't have to go anywhere else for it. Love is available to me within my system. I don't have to go anywhere else for it. Peace, strength, these things are in my system, available within my system. I don't have to go anywhere else for it. And when I try to fight or use force to get these things, it's like trying to put out a fire with fire. When you fight fire with fire, you get more fire. So in this space, while we're working with the intangible, we meet ourselves with curiosity and willingness, not with tension and judgment, right? Okay. I love you guys so much. Thank you again for joining me for our Friday session. I will see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Remember that we don't have Wednesday classes for the month of October until we get into Halloween. Come November, there are going to be some schedule changes. So watch out for that. The schedule will be posted at the top of my content here in TikTok and over on YouTube. You guys are very, very welcome. Madcrest, force, resist, force. Force resists force, right? Yeah. Tension begets tension. And there is a time and a place for force, right? If I'm building muscle, I need that force. In fact, the Kriya we're doing, we use tension by clenching the jaw, creating tension, and releasing that tension. And the practice of tense and release, tense and release, tense and release is how our systems are designed to experience tension. Not as a, how long can I fucking hold this position? Because this is the only thing that feels like it's holding me in. And then I wonder why my body hurts. I wonder why I feel stressed. I wonder why my, hormone levels and all sorts of things are out of alignment. I wonder why I'm constipated. I wonder why my digestion's all fucked up. I wonder why I don't sleep well. I wonder why my brain's all... Because I'm holding tension in my system, a system that's meant to be fluid and finite, have a rise and a fall every moment, every day in its own creation. I am born, I live, and I die. That's my cycle of being finite. Everything else within that, micro, macro, that all the way to the present moment where everything is finite. And what we do is we learn to ride the waves. Okay. I love you guys. Go grab the link on Patreon to join the Discord. You scared the Titan. He's just trying to get flies, kitty. Dan Demand, if you want to talk about those things, we can come into the Discord and chat about those things, because I'm closing out my session. I've got my kid waiting for me for pumpkin painting and pie eating. But the Discord is a great space to have more at-length discussions. Also, if you comment on my content, I will do my best to make a video response to you. If you are a membership, at lunch, at work, yeah, no problem. So like I said, on your own time, send me a message. Either send me a direct message or preferably comment on my content so I can make a thing about it and share with everybody, or come into the Discord and we can chat about it another time. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Dana Man. Enjoy your lunch. Thank you guys, everybody else too. Enjoy your Friday. I love you too. I hope you guys... What is it? What do I really hope? I hope that something makes you laugh harder than you expected today. That's what I hope. That's my hope. Take it or leave it. I love you guys. I'll see you later. All right.